Alright guys, I finally made it out here. It's Monday. It's about 5:30 or 6 o'clock in the evening. I got out here real late. My brother-in-law called me this morning just out of the blue and asked if I wanted to work on a rent house for him, and I'm never ever going to turn down an opportunity to make a little bit of money, so I told him yeah, I'd go ahead and do that, and I ended up getting some stuff out of it. Not that camp shower thing, but all these boards were in the backyard of that rent house. These right here are like 1 by 5 1/4, so I believe that right there is the shed door. Got some 2 by 4s. I got a whole bunch of nails. I know some of them are rusted and whatnot. Those are spiral ring shank. And then you really can't see it inside there, but I got a can of grease. It didn't have a lid, so I wrapped it in plastic, but grease is grease. Got some hinges, some screws, some nails, more nails. Some of them are rusted. Don't want to scatter those suckers out. Get back in there. And then this bucket is half full of nails. So anyway, I wasn't gonna leave all this behind. And even if the nails are too rusted to use or whatever, kids just like hammering nails into stuff sometimes, so I'd rather them play with them kind of cruddy nails and waste them rather than good ones. The best thing I got from that rent house is that dude right there. I don't know why somebody'd leave that behind, but it's pretty neat. It's not a 55-gallon barrel. I think it's like a 30, but it's still pretty good size for a grill. They left the plug out down there to drain. I'll drill some more holes in the bottom because it held water anyway, but there's no grate to it. But what I'm going to do while I'm out here the next few days is I'm just going to build a fire in it and cook over it just like a campfire. So anyway, I thought that was pretty good for free. It's a little bit low to the ground, but it'd be just about perfect once you set a chair next to it. Brought the hammock out here. I've kind of got everything kind of scattered out right now because I was unloading and trying to sort through everything. Oh yeah, I got one of these action hose. So we're going to see how that works out. I'm thinking it's going to work okay, but it's not going to work the way it works for some people because I have so many rocks in the dirt. I'm thinking the rocks are going to really hinder it because it is hot. It got up to, I think, 89 today. I think it's supposed to be like 87 tomorrow, and then like 85, and then right back up to 90. But I'm excited to get that grill going. Hey, that's kind of neat, that the sun rays. Whee! Anyways, alright. So, I'm just going to go ahead and get a fire started in there. And here we go with our little camping trip, if you want to call it that. It is started. Alright, so I don't know if you can see that very well or not, but I've went ahead and put a grate in there. And I've got about a 2-inch airspace underneath this grate, right next to that little plug hole, which is right there. So it should get pretty good airflow up underneath, and that'll just kind of hold the fire up off the bottom. Okay, what I like to use to start a fire is this little butane torch. Works pretty good. So hopefully that'll burn up. I'll let that burn for quite a while. But I need to get a good bed of coals going on. I guess I could have just brought charcoal, but I'd rather eat, you know, as close to free as I can. I also brought some sirloin steak that came from one of the family cows. No, it's not family cows. It's my father-in-law's cows, but he's pretty good about sharing the beef, so I brought some of that good grass-fed sirloin steak. I'll probably have that. Probably not tomorrow because I have something special planned for tomorrow, but I don't know. I might have it tomorrow morning for breakfast with a couple eggs. Ooh, that sounds good. Well, anyway, I'm just going to tend this for a little while and I'll come back here in a little bit. Alrighty, well, that seems to be burning pretty good. I've went ahead and put a little like 4-inch piece of oak on there. I'm just going to take this one down one time. That one's been charred a little bit. Okay. There you go, that's what twist looks like. Alright, so that right there should be plenty to cook my dinner with. Alright, well, we're starting to get some pretty good coals down in there. Alright, now since I am going to be preparing food, the first thing I'm going to do is wash my hands because I'm already pretty dirty. So what I've done instead of hanging it up is I've just laid this shower bag up here on the roof of the van with the black side up. That way when the sun comes up it'll start heating the water. But for now this is just a good way for me to wash my hands. Wash the van while I'm at it. Why not? Now, normally I wouldn't be wasting this much water, but I am only, you know, a half a mile or so away from fresh well water, so if I run out, I'll just run up there and fill it. Okay, now I got my hands washed, now we can prepare the food. Alrighty, now I realize that I'm not necessarily in the shot, but that's okay, because what we're doing is down here anyway. I just figured I'd go ahead and do this because I don't have a light. Well, I have a camp light, but this is a lot easier to show in the daytime, so I'll go ahead and prepare this stuff. That fire won't be ready for about another probably 45 minutes, so first thing I'm going to do is just kind of wash this potato off. Good enough for the girls I date. Okay, these are the only dishes or utensils that I brought. You know, a knife, a fork, cast iron skillet, metal spatula, metal spoon. That's it. I didn't even bring any plates or anything, so. Anyway, what I'm going to do first is get some butter out of here. No, I'm not going to let you see in there. I want you to be surprised when we have our eats each time. Already let the cat out of the bag on the sirloin, but there's one thing I'm real excited about making. Okay, that butter is hard as a rock, so we'll kind of let that sit for a minute. First thing I do is just take the fork, and I'm sure everybody knows how to make a baked potato, but I don't have anything else to do out here but talk to the camera, so why not show it? I just stab it continuously all down one side. Stab the hand, flip it over, stab several more times. Stab the ends, stab the sides. Alright. Well, that's not really too clean, but oh well, I'm a guy, I don't care, I guess. Whatever. I'll still eat it. I'd still eat it if I dropped it in the ground, I don't care. But that's just me. Alright, I take some tin foil, aluminum foil. Man, that stuff is thin. It's supposed to be heavy duty, but that is thin. I always do the shiny side in, because the shiny side reflects heat. I don't know that it really matters or not, but that's the way I do it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this butter up. This is real butter. It's not margarine or... Yeah. Okay. So I'm just going to take me off a sliver of it. Kind of rub it on there. And then I'll just kind of split it into littler pieces like that. And I'll just put like one on that side, one right there. Get another one, split it again. Put some on the other side. Alright. Now I just roll it over. And then I fold the ends in. Roll it over some more. Fold that over. Alright, so there's our baked potato pouch, but since I'm just doing it in the coals, I want it to be a little bit durable so I can flip it a couple times if I need to. Man, this stuff is kind of thin, so this is definitely a must. Then I'm going to just put it back in here and do another layer. Alright, there's our baked potato. Now that'll have to cook in the coals for I usually leave them in about an hour. I do 30 minutes on one side, 30 minutes on the other side, unless it's like a real big monstrous one. Now the corn, basically we'll just do the same way. Get rid of that stuff. Oh, there's somewhere. Let the animals have it. Get most of the strings off. I don't mind some being on there, but I'll get all the things I can. Alright. So I'll just cut a little bit of that cob part off. Alright, there's our corn. Now it's basically the same exact thing. Take some butter. Split it again. I know I'm not going to cut myself. That corn. I didn't bring any salt and pepper with me, so it's going to be just like this. But I don't like a whole lot of seasonings on my food anyway. I like to just kind of taste what the food's supposed to be, you know. I don't use steak sauce on my steak or nothing like that. I mean, if somebody don't like the taste of steak enough to where they have to smother it in sauce, why not just eat something that you like eating? Instead of disguising the flavor of the food that you're eating in the first place. But, you know, everybody can do what they want to do, I guess. I'm not the king of all things, so. And I really believe in the idea that people can just, or at least should be able to just pretty much do what they want to do. As long as you don't hurt nobody but yourself. I don't care. It ain't up to me how you live your life. It ain't up to you how I live my life. As long as people don't hurt other people, I really don't see that anybody has the right to tell anybody anything. Now that one, we'll just kind of leave it a single roll, because we did roll it over a few times. And this will only have to be on there, you know, 5 or 10 minutes. So there's our baked potato and our corn. And then the only other thing is our meat, which it's, let's see, ooh, country ham. Brown sugar cured. Okay, I'm thinking there's 2 slices in there. I'm not going to open this just yet, though. Because this will not be put in to cook. I'm going to cook it in the skillet. It'll only take like 8 minutes to cook, so I'm going to, you know, this will take an hour, so this will go in, and then the corn and the ham will be cooked at the very last. But there's my dinner tonight: ham, baked potato, corn. It'll probably be dark by the time I get around to eating, but I'll try to get you guys a shot of what I got going on here once it's done. Woo! That was almost bad. Okay, saved it. Alrighty. Now I'll get my poking stick back out. Push that wood kind of a little bit close to it. And there we go. And that'll have to cook, like I said, for probably about an hour. Looks like it was made to be in there. Alright, before it gets too dark to see, I know it looks bright on the camera, but you can probably tell that it's a little pixely. That's because the camera is automatically adjusting the brightness so that even though it's fairly dark out here, it's 8:40 p.m. so it's fairly dark. I just wanted to, before it gets too dark, give you guys one last look here. And right there in that pan, I heated that pan up a little bit to soak some of that grease in there. And I went over to the garden and got some onion tops and chopped up through in there. That ought to be pretty good with the ham. I like onions anyway. And then there's our potato in there just cooking away. Now see, that over there is flaming up, and it's real hot over there. See how it's kind of a dull glow, even with a little bit of ash all around the potato. That's what you want. Good, even, radiant cooking. Because even though it looks kind of like it's not real hot, I mean, like, put your hand 4 inches away from it and you can't hold it there. So anyway, I'll probably come back when it's all done, because it'll be dark and I'll have to use the lantern. But just thought I'd show you guys I was utilizing a little bit of the garden already. Okay, so the daylight's holding out just a little bit longer, and it is time to flip it over, so I'll go ahead and do that. I should have brought some tongs, but can't remember everything. What I'm going to do here is actually just move it out of the way kind of for a minute. Kind of mess these coals around over here. I guess I shouldn't do that with the spatula. Go ahead and throw a new stick over the top. That fire that you're seeing is actually 3 or 4 inches back away from the potato, so that should be okay. Now we just got to wait another 30 minutes or so. Alrighty, well, I'm sure at this point you really can't see anything, so I'll just go ahead and, it's time to drop my corn in. I'll just go ahead and do that. It turned pretty dark on me, so it is 9:10, so I guess that makes sense that it would be dark. There we go. I'll do that one for dinner. Now all I'm going to do here is I'm just going to set that down on there. Just let her cook. Alrighty, I'd say it's probably about time to flip this meat over here. That's one heck of a smell, that brown sugar cured ham and that oak smoke together. Now that was actually, again, 2 pieces stuck together. So there's actually like, I don't know, 5 or 6 pieces in that package. And onions on there. Okay, that one's not cooking quite as much, so we need to swap places. Alrighty, about 3 or 4 more minutes and we ought to be eating. Now that baked potato is still down in there, and so is the corn. So we should have all of our food piping hot at the same time. Alrighty, so now I'm going to go ahead and take my, I already took my meat off. You can still hear it sizzling because that cast iron pan stays hot for a while. I don't know about you, but I'm ready to eat. Now let's see what we've got here. Now this is going to be super hot, so we'll have to kind of go with the flow a little bit here. Kind of tore it open a little bit there, so we'll just... Woo! The kernels are coming out. Whew, hot. And it is soft. Some of the little kernels are falling out even. So, oh crap, that's hot. couldn't really see it anyway, so. Okay, there's our corn. And then, you know, there's the meat with the green onion tops. Let's go ahead and see what this sucker's got going on. Ah, mosquitoes. Whew, hot. All right, there we are. Sorry about the poor quality of all this. It is dark out here. I just, you know, I just thought it would be better to share it than not, I guess, you know. Whew, hot. Hot. Whew. It is screaming hot. Part of it got a little overdone, but what can you expect? It was a little bit smaller of a potato, but there we have it. I don't know if you can see that steam. Yeah, there we go. She's steaming. Oh yeah. Woo-wee. I won't even try to take a bite of that yet. So there's our baked potato. There's our corn. And there's our ham. I probably won't be able to eat all that, but oh well. Now after I get done eating, I'll throw a bunch more wood on that fire. And that way maybe in the morning we'll have some hot coals to deal with. But I don't drink soda during the day when I'm working. I drink tons of water. But in the evening time, I do treat myself to a soda with my meal, so. Ice cold. It is Pepsi, not beer. I don't really drink beer. I don't think I've had a beer in probably at least 2 years. I can't wait to taste these potatoes here. Oh man. I don't know what it is about cooking out, but it makes everything taste better. Oh man. That is good. I didn't even bother putting any more butter on it. It's so dark out here, I'm just ready to eat. Then I can go lay down and watch a movie. Oh, that ham. Yes, I'm eating with my fingers. I'm a guy. I'm out in the woods. Cut me some slack. It'd be pretty awesome if a bear came along right about now. Woo! Hot, but good. I don't eat this good at home. Now this right here is kind of the whole point of homesteading and things like that. You know, some people do the homesteading thing and don't raise animals. I guess homesteading can mean different things to different people, and that's fine. Like I said earlier, I'm not here to tell anybody how to live their life. But to me, this meal right here is delicious, okay? We've got ham, which a feeder pig here in the springtime is like 65 bucks. And then in the fall, they're ready to butcher. So, you know, you get you 2 feeder pigs in the springtime, that's 130 bucks. By the fall, you've got tons and tons of ham. Bacon, pork chops, what have you, you know. Corn, obviously you grow your own corn, and potatoes, you grow your own potatoes. Everything that's here, a person could come up with on their own. And not only that, but a lot of people kind of tend to lean heavily on more on the vegetables and things like that when they're homesteading and all that. But my focus tends to go on the animals more. You know, I like meat. When we move out here, I'll have a couple of pigs most all the time. I'll probably even breed my own. That way I can sell a few feeder pigs each year, plus have all the pork that I want. But we'll have, you know, a few pigs most all the time. And then we'll have, you know, 4 or 5, maybe 6 goats. And then I'm hoping to wrangle my way into a couple of calves. Maybe a couple little heifer calves. That way, you know, in a couple of years they'll produce calves of their own, and I can just put them in with my father-in-law's herd. And every year I ought to have a couple of cows to butcher. So, you know, an entire cow will pretty much last a family of 5 all year. Add in, you know, 1 goat a year if you want to butcher that, and add in a deer or 2 deer during deer season, and then a couple of pigs a year, and you're looking pretty good on the food front. Really need a really big garden though. You know, a lot of people say you can do a lot with a small space. You know, that's true, but not when you get into stuff like corn. To grow enough corn for a family of 5 for an entire year, because we eat a lot of corn, so, you know, at least 3 or 4 dinners a week involve corn. It would probably take 3/4 to an acre of just corn to provide enough for my family. So while you can grow certain things, you know, tomatoes and cucumbers and stuff like that, you can grow in a small space. Things like corn, green beans, and potatoes, to grow enough to actually provide your family, you know, for an entire year, depending on the size of your family, it takes a large space. I'd say it'd probably take an acre of corn, probably a 1/2 acre of green beans, and a 1/2 acre of potatoes, so probably 2 acres of crops. And then plus, you know, your small garden for the cucumbers and tomatoes and all that kind of stuff. Well, I think I pretty well got the best of that corn on the cob. Chuck that over there. I'll gather up this stuff in the morning. I've been so focused on the potato and corn, I haven't hardly touched the ham. I'm going to go ahead and end this here and throw some more wood on the fire and then shut the lid and go lay down. I'll probably wrap up the rest of this meat and have it in the morning with some eggs.